All right, let's do this. We're diving deep into selenium today and how it affects your immune system.
It's a popular one.
Yeah, a lot of people have been asking about this one. So we've got a ton of research articles and some summaries of, just general health information to try to figure out how important is this mineral really?
Right.
Where do we get it? And, what should we watch out for? What are the risks?
Absolutely. Selenium is, it's fascinating, isn't it? It's almost like the stage manager in a huge theatrical production.
Okay.
Tiny amounts present in the body,
Mm-hmm.
but it makes sure everything runs smoothly, especially your immune system.
Yeah. It's always amazing to me how these trace minerals that we barely even think about can have such a huge impact.
Mm.
I remember vaguely selenium from like biology class, something about metabolism.
Right. Yeah, but it goes way beyond that. Selenium's involved in a whole orchestra of processes,
Yeah.
but its influence on the immune system is particularly remarkable.
Yeah. One of the articles called it an antioxidant powerhouse, which that immediately caught my attention.
Right.
Because it actually fights those, those pesky free radicals
Exactly.
I've heard so much about.
Think of free radicals as those inevitable byproducts of metabolism,
Okay.
kind of like rust on a car
Oh.
or a banana turning brown.
Okay.
And they can cause damage to your cells over time.
Yeah.
While some free radicals are necessary,
Mm-hmm.
too many leads to something called oxidative stress.
Right. And oxidative stress has been linked to all sorts of health problems, right?
Absolutely.
So selenium steps in to neutralize those troublemakers.
Precisely.
All right.
One study even found that getting selenium from food,
Okay.
not supplements, was linked to a lower risk of certain cancers.
Interesting.
This really underscores the importance of a healthy diet
Right.
as your primary source of selenium.
Makes sense. Now, I did come across something about selenium supplements, potentially easing side effects of radiation therapy. For cancer patients, they mentioned improved quality of life and even reduced diarrhea, which, that seems like a glimmer of hope
Absolutely.
during what must be an incredibly difficult time.
There's a lot of promising research
Yeah.
going on in that area.
Yeah.
Definitely something to keep an eye on.
Okay, so we've got this powerful antioxidant action, potentially helping with cancer treatment side effects, but it doesn't stop there.
Right.
Selenium also seems to play a role in heart health. The research mentioned a link between low selenium levels and a higher risk of heart disease.
You're right. One analysis of 25 observational studies found that a 50% increase in blood selenium levels
Okay.
was linked to a 24% reduction in the risk of heart disease.
Wow.
That's pretty significant.
Those are some impressive numbers.
Yeah.
But I'm curious, how does selenium actually protect the heart?
One of the key ways is by reducing inflammation,
Okay.
which we know is a major culprit in heart problems. Selenium also helps reduce oxidative stress throughout the body,
Right.
offering further protection.
So it's almost like it's working to keep your arteries clear and healthy,
Exactly.
preventing that, plaque buildup.
Preventing those clogged pipes.
Yes. Okay, that makes sense. But wait, there's more. Selenium might also be a brain power booster, potentially protecting against mental decline.
Yeah.
And, with the rising rates of Alzheimer's, that's huge.
Absolutely. Oxidative stress is a major factor in the development of neurological diseases. So selenium's antioxidant power comes into play here as well. There's even research showing that people with Alzheimer's often have lower selenium levels.
Interesting. So could a selenium-rich diet help keep our brains sharp as we age?
It's a very promising area of research. One small study found that eating Brazil nuts,
Okay.
a top source of selenium,
Yeah.
actually improved verbal fluency and mental function in people with mild cognitive impairment.
Wow, that's really encouraging. And it seems to connect to the Mediterranean diet as well, which is rich in selenium-rich foods and has been linked to a lower risk of Alzheimer's.
Exactly.
Now, there's another organ that seems to have a special relationship with selenium, and that's the thyroid.
You're absolutely right. The thyroid actually contains more selenium than any other organ in the body.
Wow.
And remember, the thyroid is crucial for regulating your metabolism, growth, and development.
Right. Any disruption to the thyroid can have some pretty serious consequences.
Absolutely.
So how does selenium support this vital gland?
Selenium acts as a shield, protecting the thyroid from damage.
Okay.
It's also crucial for helping the thyroid produce hormones properly.
Right.
Research even suggests that selenium supplements might help with Hashimoto's thyroiditis,
Okay.
an autoimmune condition where the body attacks the thyroid.
So it seems like selenium is a true multitasker
Mm.
when it comes to our health. And all these benefits tie back to a stronger immune system, right?
Exactly. We started by talking about selenium and immunity, and now we're seeing how its effects on heart health, brain health, and even thyroid function all contribute to a more robust immune system.
Yeah, it's like selenium is working behind the scenes to strengthen our defenses on multiple fronts. I'm already impressed. And we've only just begun. It's like, as we're uncovering all these benefits, it makes me wonder if it's not just about preventing problems, but also like helping our bodies actually heal and recover.
That's a great observation. A lot of the research does focus on, how selenium supports those natural repair processes. For instance, selenoproteins
Hmm.
are crucial for muscle development and regeneration.
Oh, so that's why athletes and fitness enthusiasts are always told to make sure they're getting enough selenium.
Precisely.
It's not just about energy, it's about like bouncing back after
Yeah,
those tough workouts.
exactly. And consider wound healing. Selenium plays a role there too, by helping to regulate inflammation and support the production of new tissue.
That makes perfect sense. One of their articles even mentions selenium helping the body deal with heavy metal poisoning,
Right.
which, I mean, that almost sounds too good to be true.
It does sound a bit like a superpower, doesn't it? But there's actually a fair amount of research on this. Selenium can bind to heavy metals, like arsenic, cadmium, and mercury, making them less harmful.
Wow. So it's like selenium is rounding up those toxic bad guys
Mm-hmm.
and escorting them out of the body.
That's a good way to put it.
Talk about an all-star player. But this brings up a crucial point. Balance.
You're absolutely right. We can't just assume that more selenium is always better. We've already talked about the potential for toxicity. And there are other things to consider as well.
Like the fact that selenium levels in food can vary quite a bit, depending on the soil those foods were grown in.
Mm-hmm.
So even if you're eating all the right things, you might not be getting as much selenium as you think.
That's an important point, and it highlights why having a variety of selenium-rich foods is so crucial.
Right.
Don't just rely on one or two sources.
Makes sense. Now, I remember one of the articles going into detail about the different forms of selenium. Can you break that down for us?
Sure, there's organic selenium, which is found naturally in foods like Brazil nuts and seafood.
Okay.
This type is generally considered to be more easily absorbed by the body.
And then there's inorganic selenium.
Yes, which is often found in supplements.
Mhm.
And some foods, though to a lesser extent, inorganic selenium can still be beneficial.
Hmm.
But it might not be as readily utilized by the body.
So when it comes to maximizing our selenium intake, food is the clear winner.
Ideally, yes. Getting your selenium from a variety of whole foods is the best way to ensure you're getting the full spectrum of benefits and minimizing the risk of any imbalances.
Okay, that settles it. I'm adding Brazil nuts and some delicious tuna steaks to my grocery list.
Sounds good to me.
But back to the science for a moment. Some of the articles talked about how selenium interacts with the gut microbiome,
Right.
which seems to be a hot topic these days.
It is, and it's an area where research on selenium is really gaining momentum. You see, your gut is home to trillions of bacteria, and these bacteria play an enormous role in your overall health, including immune function.
Right, a healthy gut microbiome is like having a well-trained army, defending your body from within.
Exactly, and it seems that selenium
Yeah.
can actually influence the composition
Yeah.
and activity of your gut bacteria.
So it's not just about like directly supporting the immune system. It's about fostering a healthy environment where the immune system can thrive.
Precisely. Some studies have shown that selenium can promote the growth of beneficial bacteria in the gut while helping to keep harmful bacteria in check.
That's incredible. It's like selenium is acting as a gardener, tending to the soil of our gut microbiome to help those beneficial bacteria flourish.
It's all about maintaining that delicate balance.
Yeah, right.
And a healthy gut leads to a stronger immune system, which in turn helps protect us from all sorts of problems.
I love how this deep dive is revealing these interconnected aspects of health. It's not just about like isolated nutrients. It's about understanding how everything works together.
Absolutely. That's the beauty of taking a deep dive.
Right.
We're not just skimming the surface. We're going deeper to explore the complexities and nuances.
I'm already feeling more informed
Hmm?
and empowered to make decisions about my health.
That's fantastic to hear.
Now I have to ask about selenium and aging. We've talked about its potential role in preventing cognitive decline, but are there other ways it might help us age gracefully?
There's a growing body of research looking into selenium's potential anti-aging effects. Remember, oxidative stress is a major contributor to the aging process.
Hmm.
It damages cells and tissues, leading to those classic signs of aging, like wrinkles, fatigue, and even a weakened immune system.
Right. And we know selenium is a potent antioxidant, so it makes sense that it might help slow down that process.
Exactly, and some evidence suggests that selenium might even play a role in protecting against other age-related conditions, like macular degeneration, a leading cause of vision loss.
So selenium could potentially help us maintain not only our physical health, but also our cognitive function and even our eyesight as we age. It's like a multi-pronged defense against the effects of time.
That's a great way to put it. Of course, more research is always needed, but the potential is definitely there. And the great thing is, incorporating more selenium-rich foods into your diet is a simple and enjoyable way to potentially reap those anti-aging benefits.
Okay, I'm convinced. But before we get too carried away, with the idea of a selenium fountain of youth,
Right.
let's talk about the practical side of things. We've established that food is the best source of selenium, but are there any tips for maximizing absorption?
That's a great question.
I mean, we want to make sure our bodies are actually utilizing all that goodness.
There are definitely some things you can do to enhance selenium absorption. First and foremost, a healthy digestive system is key.
Okay.
If your gut isn't functioning optimally, it can affect your ability to absorb nutrients, including selenium.
So those gut-friendly habits we hear so much about,
Right.
like eating fiber, staying hydrated, managing stress, that applies here too.
Absolutely. Taking care of your gut health sets the foundation for overall nutrient absorption.
Good to know. Are there any particular food combinations that can boost selenium absorption?
There's some interesting research suggesting that vitamin E can enhance selenium's antioxidant effects.
Okay.
So pairing selenium-rich foods with sources of vitamin E like almonds, spinach, or avocado might be beneficial.
I love that, creating a little nutrient power couple.
Exactly, and don't forget about cooking methods. Selenium is a bit delicate and can be lost during cooking, especially with methods like boiling or overcooking.
Oh, okay. So gentle cooking methods, like steaming or stir-frying, are better choices.
Precisely. And for plant-based sources of selenium, soaking or sprouting can actually increase their nutrient availability.
I'm picking up so many practical tips today. It's not just about what we eat, it's about how we prepare and combine those foods to make the most of their nutritional value.
You got it. It's about being mindful and intentional in the kitchen, treating food as a source of nourishment and well-being.
I love that perspective. Now, what about supplements? Are there any situations where selenium supplements might be appropriate?
While food should always be the primary source, there are certain cases where supplementation might be considered. For example, people with digestive disorders that affect nutrient absorption or individuals living in regions with selenium-deficient soil might benefit from supplements.
That makes sense. But as always, it's essential to consult with a healthcare professional. Before starting any new supplements, they can help you determine the right dosage and form of selenium based on your individual needs.
Absolutely, supplements are not a one-size-fits-all solution, and it's important to be aware of potential interactions with medications or other health conditions. It's always best to proceed with caution and seek personalized guidance.
Great advice. So we've covered a lot of ground in this part of our selenium deep dive, from its role in muscle recovery to its interaction with the gut microbiome, and even its potential as an anti-aging ally.
We've really gone in depth, but there's still more to discover.
Exactly. In part 3, we'll tackle some of the controversies surrounding selenium, explore the latest research, and leave you with some final empowering takeaways. All right, welcome back. So in the last couple parts, we've been exploring all the ways selenium can support your health, and now I think it's time to tackle some of the more, I guess, complex and maybe even controversial aspects of selenium research. One thing that really stood out to me was the discussion about selenium and cancer. It seems like the research has kind of gone back and forth. Some studies suggest it might be protective, while others show like no benefit or even potential risks. What's going on there?
Yeah, it's definitely a complicated area, and the research is definitely still ongoing. Some early studies did suggest that selenium might reduce the risk of certain cancers, but larger trials haven't always confirmed those findings.
So it's not as simple as saying like selenium prevents cancer.
Exactly. It seems the relationship between selenium and cancer is multifaceted and likely depends on a lot of factors, including the type of cancer, the individual's overall health, and even, genetic predispositions.
Right. There was one study that mentions selenium supplements actually increase the risk of skin cancer, which is, That's a little concerning.
Yeah, and that study, it raised some important questions. It highlighted the importance of, not exceeding that recommended daily intake of selenium
Yeah.
and the potential downsides of, long-term high-dose supplementation.
Right. That's a good reminder that even with essential nutrients, more isn't always better.
Exactly. Balance is key.
Right. We need to find that sweet spot.
Absolutely. And when it comes to cancer prevention, a holistic approach that includes a healthy diet, regular exercise, stress management, and avoiding smoking is still the best strategy.
That makes sense. Now, what about selenium and autoimmune diseases? We talked about Hashimoto's thyroiditis, but there are so many other autoimmune conditions out there.
There are, and there's been some interesting research on selenium's potential role in modulating the immune response
Mm.
in those conditions. You see, autoimmune diseases happen when the immune system mistakenly attacks the body's own tissues.
Right. It's like friendly fire.
Exactly.
And I remember one of the studies we looked at found that selenium supplements increase the activity of regulatory T cells. And I remember reading that those cells are kind of like the peacekeepers of the immune system, helping to like prevent those self-attacks.
Yes, and that's a very promising finding. It suggests that selenium might help rebalance the immune system
Mhm.
in people with autoimmune conditions.
There was also some research on selenium and ulcerative colitis,
Right.
which is an inflammatory bowel disease. And it seemed like, selenium supplements were able to reduce symptoms and improve quality of life in
Yeah.
people with this condition.
Yeah, that study showed that selenium was able to reduce the levels of certain inflammatory markers in the body. So it points to the possibility that selenium could have anti-inflammatory effects in the gut.
So does this mean selenium is the answer to all our autoimmune problems?
Well, I wouldn't go that far just yet. The research is still in its early stages, and more studies are needed to confirm these findings and figure out, the optimal dosages. But it's certainly an area of active research, and there's hope that selenium might offer some relief for people struggling with these conditions.
Well, I'm definitely intrigued by the possibilities. It seems like selenium research is constantly evolving and we're like learning more about this versatile mineral all the time.
Yeah, that's the exciting thing about science. It's always pushing the boundaries of our understanding.
So, as we wrap up our deep dive into selenium, what are some key takeaways you want our listeners to remember?
Well, I think the most important thing is that selenium is a powerful ally for your immune system. It's an essential mineral that plays a vital role in reducing inflammation, protecting against oxidative stress, and supporting healthy immune cell function.
And we've learned that those benefits extend beyond immunity to heart health, brain health, thyroid function. I mean, selenium really does seem to be involved in so many aspects of well-being.
It's true. And while food should always be your primary source, supplementation might be appropriate in certain cases,
Hmm.
with the guidance of a healthcare professional.
Right, and that's a crucial point. And even with all the research we've discussed, we're still learning so much about selenium.
Absolutely. Science is a journey of discovery, and we're always uncovering new insights into how our bodies work.
Well, as you continue on your health journey, we encourage you to remember that knowledge is power. The more you understand about the nutrients you're putting into your body, the more empowered you'll be to make choices that support your overall well-being.
I completely agree. Don't be afraid to keep exploring.
This deep dive has given us a fantastic overview of selenium, but it's really just the beginning. There's a whole world of fascinating information out there just waiting to be discovered.
Well said. And on that note, we hope you feel inspired and equipped to prioritize selenium in your own health journey. Thanks for joining us in this deep dive. Until next time.